We are the Group 5 and we are tasked to discuss agrarian reform. It is the redistribution of land, regardless of crop produced, to farm workers who are landless, irrespective of the arrangement of tenure, to lift the economic status of the beneficiaries. In other words, refers to a broader concept that encompasses changes in agricultural land ownerships, cultivation system, and rural institutions. It often involves redistributing land. The goal is to improve agricultural productivity, reduce poverty, and address social and economic inequalities in rural areas. Otherwise, not only covers wide redistribution of land but also the provision of infrastructure, services, and sometimes a whole program. Example of this are education and training of farmers, application of labor laws to agricultural workers. While land reform is an integrated set of measures designated to eliminate obstacles or to design to eliminate obstacles to economic and social development arising out of defects in the agrarian structure. They have the land right, which refer to as legally and socially recognized claims on the land reinforceable by legitimized authority like the states of government. And it also narrow redistribution of land usually to a limited group of beneficiaries. Example of this redistribution of private land or purchase. By the way, my name is Federico Quingari Jr. and I am the first reporter.
Have a good day, everyone. This is Kimberly Aroro, a member of Group 5 in China, Ronquillo, of China, Ronquillo. And this is my continuation about the topic of agrarian reform. So, my topic is all about the aspect of agrarian reform in economic agrarian. Economic agrarian, in which a large proportion of the total working population is employed in agriculture and a large percentage contribution to the GDP comes from agriculture. So, the economic agrarian describe an agriculturally based economic system in which farming and related activities are the main sources of employment and income. In economic agrarian system is one in which the majority of a people work in agriculture, and the prosperity of the agriculture sector has a significant impact on the economy. So, social cultural aspect refers to the following. The farmers started putting all the efforts in the farm because they own the land, which means tungod sa agrarian reform ang mga farmers maningkamot na og cultivate sa ilang area, kailangan naman ang yuta. For example, sa agrarian reform, diri sa atua kanang mga gitawag og POS, kung diin ang mga beneficiaries sa mga yuta kay ang mga farmers mismo. Tungod sa agrarian reform, na plastar ang mga farmers, then para ma-sustain ilang panagiya sa yuta, ila kini kanunay ginahanduman og kalinaw. So the farmer became more concerned of the needs to maintain peace and the stability with the community so they can continuously enjoy the increased benefits in farm. So economic agrarian growth has always been significantly influenced by agriculture, especially in developing a nation, where the bulk of people live in rural regions and depend on farming for a living. For rural areas, and the economic agrarian system can offer a reliable source of revenue and jobs, thereby lowering poverty and raising living standards. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Angel Grace Olorata from HRM 1B, and this is my report. Number 2.3. Farmers became more active in participating leadership roles. Farmers participate community development projects, taking on leadership roles to mobilize resources, coordinate activity, and ensure their community, such as building irrigation system or establishing farmer training program. Number 2.4. As land reform enhance agricultural productivity and consequently increase net family incomes. Increased agricultural productivity and higher incomes enable farmers to improve their living conditions, invest in education for children, and diversity their sources of income beyond traditional farming activities. Number 2.5. Agrarian reforms also promoted modern outlook among farmers. Through agrarian reform programs, farmers received training and education on modern agricultural techniques such as improved crop varieties, organic farmers method, and efficient water management practices.
Good day, everyone. I am Shaina Rivas, and I'm going to discuss about the religious aspect. Majority of the Filipino masses is longing for the possession of the land that results to the multiple revolts, but they didn't receive support from the church. That's why church became the enemy of the land reform. This desire was so strong that it was resulted into multiple revolts. Sad to say, however, the Filipinos rarely found any help and support from the church. On the contrary, some revolts were directly pointed to the land owned by the church. That's why church became the enemy of the land reform. Objectives of agrarian reform: put an end to conflicts pertaining to the land ownership. Conflicts within the community. This may be between members of a household, different families, or a whole subgroups within a community. For example, local elites may try to unjustly claim common areas as their own private land. Number 2. Bring stability in the political setup of the country. A strong rule of law is linked to low levels of political instability and has a significant impact on economic growth. Although political stability and good governance are important, many other factors can also influence economic growth.
Greetings for you, ma'am, and my fellow students. I am Adrian Argos from HRM 1B. Shaina and I are assigned to report the objectives of agrarian reform, and this is the continuation of what Shaina has reported. Number 3. Achieving, achieving equalities in terms of opportunity, income, and wealth through agrarian reform involves redistributing land and resources to provide equal access for all individuals, particularly addressing historical disparities. These can include measures to ensure fair distribution of agricultural land, access to credit, education, and technology, creating a more balanced economic landscape within the agricultural sector. The goal is to reduce income inequality, empower marginalized communities, and promote sustainable development in the agricultural domain. In the Philippines, the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program (CARP), initiated in 1988, aimed to address historical injustice in land ownership. It sought to distribute agricultural lands to landless farmers, promoting social justice and equitable opportunities. Through CARP, vast landholdings were targeted for redistribution to qualified beneficiaries, empowering small-scale farmers and encouraging inclusive economic development in the agricultural sector. However, the effectiveness of the program has been debated, and challenges in implementation persist. Number 4. AR programs are designated to facilitate AR activities like, like, like the land acquisition, distribution, and land management. Agrarian reform programs are designed to support and oversee activities related to agrarian reform, such as acquiring land, distributing it among farmers, and managing the land effectively. These programs aim to address issues of land ownership, promote equitable distribution, and improve overall land management in agricultural context. In the Philippines, agrarian reform programs have been implemented to address issues of land inequality and empower farmers. One notable example is the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program (CARP), which aimed to redistribute agricultural land to landless farmers. Under CARP, vast haciendas were divided and individual farmers received titles to cultivate their own plots. Another example is the Kilusang Magbubukid ng Pilipinas (KMP), a farmers' movement act advocating for genuine agrarian reform. They have been actively involved in campaigns to push for the distribution of land to farmers and to address issues of landlessness in rural areas. These examples illustrate real-life efforts to implement agrarian reforms in the Philippines, highlighting the initiatives and struggle faced by farmers in the request for fair land distribution and improved livelihoods.
Good evening, everyone. So, I am Stephanie S. Mejos from HRM1B, and this is our report, and this is my part. The topic is all about Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, or CARL, aka 6657. It was signed into the law by President Corazon C. Aquino on June 10, 1988. In response, in the peasants' equitable access to land, problems of landlessness, massive poverty in the rural areas, and abuses of landlords led the formulation of number agrarian reform policies in the country. So, the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, or known as CARL, it was passed to promote social justice and industrialization, although it was still a product of adherence to democratic principles. This law was found to have many flaws, and the purpose of agrarian reform is modernizing the feudal structure of southern agriculture by expropriating the most unproductive portions of the large states and redistributing them to landless peasants in the form of small holdings. So, in a simple word, agrarian reform is the government-initiated or government-backed redistribution of agriculture land, or broadly, to an overall redirection of the agrarian system of the country, which often includes land reform measures. And that's all.
History of agrarian reform. Even before the colonization of different countries, Philippines have already developed organization for their communities. Number 1, Republic Act 4054, Authorized Tenancy Law, Administration of Manuel Quezon. Number 2, Republic Act 34, enacted to establish a 70 to 30 sharing arrangement between tenant and landlord, Manuel Rojas Admin. Number 3, Executive Order Number 355, the Land Development Corporation, Ladisco, Elpidio Querenos Admin. Number 4, Republic Act 3844, Agricultural Land Reform Code, Diosdado Macapagal Admin. Number 5, Republic Act 6389, Code of Agrarian Reforms in the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos Admin. Number 6, Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, or CARL, Corazon C. Aquino. Number 7, Republic Act Numbers 1995, which amended certain provision of Republic Act Number 6657, which exempts the fish funds and fish prawns from the coverage of the CARP. Fidel Ramos. Number 8, Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, or CARL, Corazon C. Aquino. Number 9, Executive Order Number 151, Farmers Trust Funds Allowed.
Good evening, everyone. By the way, my name is Charlie Banyulamak from HRM 1B, and this is my report, Qualified Beneficiaries. So what is qualified beneficiaries? Qualified beneficiaries are individuals who have beneficial interest in a trust or receive a benefit, often in the form of a monetary distribution. Number 1, agricultural leases. Agricultural leases refers to a contractual agreement between a landowner, lessor, and a farmer or agricultural operator lease for the use of agricultural land. So number 2, regular farm workers. Regular farm workers are individuals who are employed in agricultural activities on a regular basis. These workers typically perform manual labor tasks that requires physical strength and endurance. So number 3, seasonal farm workers. Seasonal farm workers are individuals who are employed in agricultural activities for a specific period of time. Seasonal farm work is often tied to growing cycles of crops or the specific seeds of farming operation. So number 4, other farm workers. Number 5, actual tillers of public lands. The word actual tillers of public lands refers to the use individuals or communities who are actively cultivating or working on public lands for purposes. In some cases, public lands are owned and managed by government entities such as nation or state parks, forest reserves, or other public agencies. So, number 6, directly working on the land. Directly working on the land refers to the individuals who are actively engaged activities and directly involved in the physical labor required for cultivating or managing the land.